Howdy class! To begin our lesson, let's first give a quick review on how to interpret a fraction. Fractions represent parts of a whole. Let's say you have a whole pizza. When you eat some of the pizza, you now only have parts of the whole pizza. This is a fraction. In a common fraction, there is a numerator and a denominator. A numerator is the top part of the fraction. It shows how many parts we have. So the pieces of the pizza that we eat are the numerator. Let's say that we're really hungry, so we eat 5 pieces of the pizza. Under the 5, I drew a line to separate the top from the bottom. A denominator is the bottom part of the fraction. It shows how many equal parts the item is divided into. The whole pizza is the denominator. So that would be 8 pieces. So we ate 5 pieces of pizza out of the 8. Congratulations! We now have a fraction. If you're having trouble remembering where the numerator and denominator go, just remember the D in denominator means down. So it is on the bottom.
Before we begin comparing fractions, first we must make sure that we understand the different signs we will be using to make the comparisons. The first sign we will look at is the equal sign. This is a sign many of you probably already recognize. When we see an equal sign in between two fractions, we know that both of the fractions are equivalent, or the same size. Even if the numbers that represent the fractions look a little different, they are still equal to one another. Next, let's take a look at the greater than and less than signs. These can be a little tricky because they are very similar to one another. When looking at these signs, we must pay special attention to the direction that the open part of the sign is facing. If the open part of the sign is facing towards the left, then it is a greater than sign. And if the open part of the sign is facing towards the right, it is a less than sign.
So now that we understand fractions and we know the greater than, less than, and equal signs, we are going to learn how to compare fractions using these signs. So, to start out with an easier example, let's say that I eat 1/4 of the cake and my friend eats 3/4 of the cake. So, our problem is 1/4 is something than 3/4. Since these are cut into the same number of pieces, I know that if I only have one of the 4 pieces and my friend has 3, that 1/4 is less than 3/4. Okay, we're going to go on to a little bit trickier example. Let's say that my friend eats 1/2 of a cookie and I eat 1/4 of a cookie. Since this cookie is cut into 4 pieces, the pieces are smaller than this cookie that's only cut into 2. So, I know that one of the 2 pieces, 1/2, is greater than one of the 4 pieces, 1/4. Okay, this example is really hard, but I know that you guys can do it. Let's say that I eat 3/4 of a brownie and my friend eats 1/2 of a brownie. Well, if I think about it, I can know that 2/4 equals 1/2. Is 3/4 greater than or less than 2/4? It's greater than 2/4, so I know that 3/4 is greater than 1/2. Some good strategies that we just learned are picturing the fractions by drawing them and then comparing, or comparing a fraction to one that we already know, like comparing 3/4 to 2/4 because we know that that's 1/2.
Alright class, now let's try an example. Let's say we've got one pizza divided into 4 equal pieces and we're eating 2/4. We have another pizza that's divided into thirds, but we're only eating 1/3, one of the 3 pieces. Now if we're looking at these 2 pizzas, which one is greater than, 2/4 or 1/3? That's right, 2/4 is greater than 1/3.
Thanks and gig 'em!